told that this is like good content. I'm told that this is interesting and worth a watch. Let's go with a 1.5 speed and see how far we can get into Elon Musk talks Tesla, politics, and Putin relationship full interview, which only lasts like 39 minutes, and I don't even know. Yeah, I've seen this visage all over the place. Everyone's roasting him for this, and I don't know why.
Please welcome to the forum, Elon Musk, for a conversation with Bloomberg's Michelle Hussein. Hello, everyone, and Elon Musk, welcome to Qatar Economic Forum. How are you?
Is he on Discord? What is this? He looks crazy, by the way. What happened?
Thank you for having me. I'm fine. How are you?
Very well, thank you, and very pleased to have you with us. You know, among those here in the audience in Doha are some you will know, people who have backed you financially over the years. Since you last spoke here in 2022, a lot has changed in your life. You're not only running multiple companies, you were doing that then, but now you also have a role in government. So first of all, I hope you won't...
He looks tired, you know?
Mind if from time to time I have to move you from one topic to another because we have a lot to cover in the time we have. That will be all right? Okay.
Yeah,
well, let's start then with exactly the fact that you now have this combination of being a CEO and having a role as a government advisor. Tell me about your week. How does it work? What's the split of your time?
Your son is dead, killed by the woke mind virus.
That's from when he wakes up till noon. That's what he thinks about. So that's his schedule. Just from whatever time he wakes up to noon, your son is dead, killed by the woke mind virus. And then from noon to 2 o'clock, he gets owned on the internet and copes and through it. And then after that, he takes a private jet somewhere that probably his assistant scheduled. And then he goes in there and he yaps for a little while. And then at least he doesn't really do anything. You know, he sees people are around, and then he says, yes, what if we did this? And then all the professional people go, we shouldn't do that, but they don't tell him to his face. Like, there's a story of, was it with PayPal, when he, like, took over the coders? He, like, really wanted to be involved and, like, you know, like, make changes and stuff. But the people that were, like, making it run were, like, pretty clear he can't do this, right? And so... They made him like a fake coding setup, like his routed to a fake hub for the code, and like it would just like they would delete it later and it wouldn't change, it wouldn't do anything. Hilarious. They've been keeping it out. He also has to pay people to play games for him. It's crazy. He lives a crazy life. It's just a life of having servants do stuff for you and like bouncing from like joy to joy of whatever you like. You have no check on you whatsoever. It's just pure ego all the time. It's crazy.
Well, I travel a lot. So I was in Silicon Valley yesterday morning. I was in LA yesterday evening. I'm in Austin right now. I'll be in DC tomorrow. I'll be there having dinner with the president tomorrow night, I believe. And then a whole bunch of cabinet secretary meetings, and then back to Silicon Valley on Thursday night.
But I mean, the balance of your time, is it, well, clearly it's a lot, but is it still the case, as you said a while ago, that it's about 1 to 2 days a week on your government work?
Yeah, that's correct.
And what does that mean for your corporate life? Because if we start with Tesla, the company has suffered in recent months what you've called blowback. So what is your plan for turning that around, the declining sales picture? And by what stage do you think you're going to be able to turn it around?
That's pretty fucking harsh. The language there is like, hey, it's pretty fucked right now, man. How can you turn this around? Uh-oh.
Oh, it's already turned around.
Yeah, see? He took offense.
Give me some evidence for that. I've just been looking...
Give me evidence!
looking at the sales figures for Europe in April, which show very significant declines in the big markets.
Oh.
Europe is our weakest market. We're strong everywhere else.
Oh, cope. This is fucking cope. Yeah, I can try to turn it up more. It's my highly sophisticated balance setup. You wouldn't understand as normies. Only intellectuals like myself and Elon Musk could possibly operate such machinery. Computer enhance. I have a very, it's like AI in there, like an actual robot.
So our sales are doing well at this point. We don't anticipate any meaningful sales shortfall, and obviously the stock market recognizes that, since we're now back over $1 trillion in market cap. So Clearly, the market is aware of the situation, so it's already turned around.
But sales still.
It's already turned around. No one's buying anything. It's fucked. I cannot wait until all of this crumbles. The system itself cannot sustain the type of greed that they are trying to get away with, and that, like, he has staked so much of himself in this, and already everyone hates him. They're throwing him under the bus for all of the stuff that goes wrong, and when stuff inevitably continues to go wrong, I wouldn't be surprised to see Elon Musk, like, kind of thrown under the bus for that shit as well. But, like, Republicans are getting so much damage done, and, man, it just, this whole thing is fucked. And it's like, in broad daylight, all the criticisms leftists have ever had of the United States are, like, obviously true for everyone to see. And we're just all like, oh no, the horrors are coming. And everyone, all the liberals are like, I don't know, maybe we'll, I don't know, maybe a strongly worded letter will sort this out. Surely the people will see if we give them all just full control. The fascists will do just fine. It's just trash, man. 60% of Americans can't afford basic quality life. That's crazy. That's an insane statistic.
Down compared to this time last year.
In Europe.
In Europe, okay.
You can feel the fucking tension rising in this country. You can just feel it everywhere. Like, even nice stuff around. I don't know. It's just like everyone is like, stuff is expensive, man. It just sucks to have to be bound to this system that doesn't pay out as much as it requires you to blood sacrifice in. You know what I mean? Like, literally, your blood, sweat, and tears into the system that gives you nothing. People are waking the fuck up to this, man. This is only going to end one of two ways. Like, chill or not chill. We're hurtling towards quite not chill.
And
yes, but that's true of all manufacturers.
Liberals. I can't say liberals. Liberals are in so much denial. It's fascinating to watch. It's it's kind of like the Matt Dillahunty thing. Like, they just dig in and dig in and dig in, and then there's nowhere for them to go unless they agree that they're wrong. That's really hard for people to do. It's just so stupid. Chill or not chill is a very nice way to put it. Oh, yeah. This summer, it feels like this summer is going to pop off, especially with the crackdowns on free speech and shit. Like, if can you imagine if they arrest Hassan? It will literally blow up. And I'm not kidding. That would be fucking crazy. That would be fucking crazy. And I really hope it doesn't happen. But it's like floating out there. He'd be hot Nelson Mandela. The last thing they need is hot Nelson Mandela. Fucking Luigi and Hassan. Like, it's just gonna, oh no. We're a fucking e-girl away from a full-on, like, revolution. The most fucking online revolution you could ever imagine.
There's no exceptions.
Does that mean that you're not going to be able... Does that mean...
European is quite weak.
Okay.
I couldn't really tell what he was saying, but he sounded pissed off.
You would acknowledge, wouldn't you, that what you are facing, okay, let's just take it as Europe, what you are facing is a significant problem. This Tesla was an incredibly aspirational brand. People identified with it. They saw it as being at the forefront of the climate crisis, and now people are driving around with stickers in their cars saying, I bought this before we knew Elon was crazy.
Oh my God. This is, okay, you were right. This was definitely worth it.
And there are also people who are buying it because Elon's crazy, or however they may view it.
Oh, wow. Oh, buddy.
So, yes, we've lost some sales perhaps on the left, but we've gained them on the right. The sales numbers at this point are strong.
They're not strong sales numbers. That's objectively not true.
And we see no problem with demand.
So what do you...
And I mean, you can just look at the stock price. If you want the best inside information, the stock market analysts have that. And our stock wouldn't be trading near all-time highs if things weren't in good shape. They're fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
They're fine. Don't worry about it because it's our stock. Did you know, this is true, that your stock price has... like it's like correlated in that you would suspect people would try to be in on it, but it like has no direct relationship with the amount of profit you make. It's a speculation market. It's just like, oh, people, I hope that happens. You know what I mean? and then you invest more. It's a game. It's a part of the game. Capitalism is super dumb.
I was citing sales figures rather than share price. Well, tell me then how committed you are to Tesla. Do you see yourself, and are you committed to still being the chief executive of Tesla in 5 years' time?
Yes.
No doubt about that at all.
Well, no, I might die.
Okay, short of that.
I can't be CEO if I'm dead, so there's a slight amount of time.
Does that mean...
Oh, he's paranoid, and maybe he ought to be. Like, it wouldn't be bad if suddenly fascists just started to, like, croak. Of natural causes, of course. That'd be lovely. Can we get some wins? Can we just get some cosmic W's every once in a while? That would be all right with me. Not one time. We only get cosmically unlucky. Chaos, man.
Mean that the value of your pay doesn't have any bearing on your decision?
Well, that's not really a subject of discussion in this forum. I think obviously there should be compensation for, if something incredible is done, the compensation should match that something incredible was done. But I'm confident that whatever some activist posing as a judge in Delaware happens to do will not affect the future compensation.
An activist posing as a judge? Good God, dude. Such a whiny loser all the time.
This is the judge who twice struck down the $56 billion pay package that was awarded to you. I think the value on the current value of stock options. Yeah.
Not a judge. The activist who is cosplaying a judge in a Halloween costume.
Okay, that's your characterization. I think on the current value of stock options, I think the actual
justice according to the law.
On the current value of stock options, I think the value of that pay package stands at about $100 billion. Are you saying you are relaxed about the value of your future pay package? Your decision to be committed to Tesla for the next 5 years, as long as you are still with us on this planet, is completely independent of pay?
As long as you are still with us on this planet. I wouldn't hate if this ended up on a sizzle reel, like for one of those fan cams after a historic event. He's so painfully unfunny. He's really just not funny, yeah. And he looks so sad.
No.
It's not independent. So pay is a relevant factor then to your commitment to Tesla.
She is crushing him.
It's sufficient voting control such that I cannot be ousted by activist investors is what matters to me. And I've said this publicly many times. But let's not have this whole thing be a discussion of my alleged pay. It's not a money thing. It's a reasonable control thing over the future of the company, especially if we're building millions, potentially billions of humanoid robots. I can't be sitting there and one day get tossed out by, for political reasons, by activists. That would be unacceptable. That's all that matters. Now let's move on.
Okay, well, just one question.
Let's move on.
Well, let's move on.
One question before we move on to other companies, which is that I wonder if some of what has happened to Tesla in the last few months, did you take it personally?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So fast. Why would you admit that, man? That's fucking good.
And did it make you regret or think twice about your political endeavors?
Ooh, good fucking question. Is he gonna cry? He looks a little misty. Oh no. What?
Because it is.
I did what needed to be done. The violent antibody reaction, and I'm not someone who's ever committed violence.
The violent antibody reaction?
And yet,
you're a virus, is what you're saying?
Massive violence was committed against my companies. Massive violence was threatened against me. Who are these people? Why would they do that?
They're people that you have negatively affected.
Hello?
Like, can you actually not understand why people don't like you? Is that for real? That's crazy. Like, you've never heard a criticism it stuck, and you're like, oh, this is why someone doesn't like me. Even if you disagree. At this point, the best Elon can ever hope for as a legacy is people forget he even existed. Man. He literally does Nazi salutes and shit, man.
How wrong can they be? They're on the wrong side of history.
I disagree. I'm pretty sure the people are on the correct side of history.
And that's an evil thing to do. To go and damage some innocent person's car?
I don't consider Nazis innocent whatsoever. I don't consider people that pay Nazis
I hope you have a fantastic day.
for the privilege of having their douchebag car are particularly useful. By the way, they were like doing like dealerships and shit for the most part. Doodle-doo, and I don't even know. I mean, those people are like committing crimes. Sure, you can call it a crime, but it's something that I don't have any sort of compunction about. I don't care. You can't make me give a shit. Like, I don't care.
To threaten to kill me? What's wrong with these people?
Yeah, what's wrong with them? Why would they want to kill CEOs or billionaires or anything? I can't, like, I don't know. Okay, maybe let me just like theory craft for a minute. Maybe I can help. Let's see. Okay, so typically, like, a working class person is like a paycheck away from not being able to pay for the place that they live, and basic necessities to like get by. We're talking like literally just having meals through the day and paying rent, having shelter, and then you actively lobby for politicians that take more of those resources away from them, making their lives even harder than they already were. Where before any of this Trump shit happened, 60% of Americans couldn't pay for, you know, what they need. We're going to move into like, I mean, we're genuinely talking about, we're knocking on the door of Great Depression type shit, and it's the fault of greedy billionaires in broad daylight. So people can identify the problem at larger rates than ever before. Like, you know, being a we'll call it a communist, but a leftist, basically just someone that wants some socialized systems in place so that people can have a higher standard of living. You're called a fucking communist for wanting healthcare, essentially. But, you know, most people are like at best syndicalists in practice, like, or like sock dems. Like, they just want healthcare and housing, and then we can like move on. Like, we want human rights. It's not much to ask for, frankly, especially in the place that claims to be the richest. But so yeah, I mean, you're harming people, and then your fucking cars are just killing people. Like, actually, they've locked children inside. Like, teenagers have died inside Teslas. Fucking, they crash into shit because you're on this fucking vanity project trying to like win the game, and instead you're just taking us all down with you as you fucking, you know, fumble the bag.
I've not harmed anyone.
I've not harmed anyone. Anyway, I just outlined all the reasons he's lying.
So something needs to be done about them. And a number of them are going to prison. And they deserve.
I'm sure that a number of them are. I mean, you know, committing arson or whatever is a crime. Whatever. You're not going to make me give a fuck, though. About, you know, I don't care that it hurt your feelings.
Deserve it. And more will.
You're referring to the attacks on Tesla showrooms. But I think...
Yeah. Bullets into showrooms and burning down cars is unacceptable.
Yeah.
Those people will go to prison, and the people that funded them and organized them will also go to prison.
Funded them and organized them? I don't know. It seemed pretty grassroots to me.
Don't worry.
But wouldn't you?
We're coming for you.
Wouldn't you? But wouldn't you acknowledge that some of the people who turned against Tesla in Europe were upset at your politics, and very few of them would have been violent in any way. They just objected to what they saw you say or do politically.
She's so calm.
Well, it's certainly fine to object to political things, but it's not fine to resort to violence and hanging someone in effigy and death threats.
Hanging someone in effigy? Oh, and death threats?
I don't do drugs.
He's the real-life Mr. Burns. There should not be a real-life Mr. Burns.
Yeah, but he's not as wrinkly yet, and I don't know if he's going to reach that kind of age. Can't do violence against rich people. It's not even violence against rich people. It's literally property, and no people were involved.
That's
a property crime.
Not okay.
I'm fine with you categorizing it as it is property crime. I mean, you know, the showrooms were burnt, and they burnt cars. If you can catch them, you can catch them. But I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Vandals. Who cares? I can't give a shit. You have created the climate where the people are reacting to you. I mean, that's your fault. Socialize better, or people are going to act out against you.
That's absurd. That is in no way justifiable at all, in any way, shape, or form. And
Donald Trump literally held a rally where people were doing the same fucking thing. Threats of violence and hanging in effigy. They were literally calling for the deaths of politicians and shit. So, like, why are we going to do anything? No. Mike Pence has stuff to say.
Legacy media nonetheless have...
Although I also wouldn't care if you guys ate your own faces.
To justify it, which is unconscionable. Shame on them.
Oh, shit.
Let's talk about your other companies then and other business areas, SpaceX. I saw that you said in a speech at the West Point Military Academy recently that the future of warfare is AI and drones. And obviously defense is an increasingly booming sector with the state of the world at the moment.
The state of the world, which is rich white men, almost all of them, are destabilizing areas, and then other people are trying to defend themselves from these outbursts of violence. It's sickening. It's disgusting. We're a society of fucking apes that do not have a hold on hierarchy whatsoever. We have just allowed men to have power for some reason, you know? Like crazy amounts of it.
See SpaceX moving into weaponized drones.
You certainly ask interesting questions.
You certainly ask interesting questions. Yeah, man. Are you going to be an arms dealer because there's profit in it? Of course.
That are impossible to answer. SpaceX is it's the space launch leader. So SpaceX doesn't do drones. SpaceX builds rockets, satellites, and internet terminals. So SpaceX has a
space trash. He's literally polluting the fucking atmosphere.
Very dominant position in space launch. So of the mass launch to orbit this year, SpaceX will probably do 90%. China will do the half of the remaining amount, so 5%, and the rest of the world, including the rest of the US, will do about 5%. So SpaceX will do about 10 times as much as the rest of the world combined, or 20 times as much as China, and China is doing actually a very impressive job. The reason for this is that we are putting into orbit the largest satellite constellation the world has ever seen by far. So I think at this point, about maybe approaching 80% of all active satellites in orbit are SpaceX.
Yeah, and that's not a good thing. We don't want so many fucking satellites. It's so crazy, dude. I hate us. We could be so good. We could be so, like, well-meaning and conscientious and forward-thinking. Instead, we're throwing this up so you can make a buck right now, and then the space trash just rains on us. Go! Fun fact, if we get enough space trash around the Earth, that's it. We can't leave the planet anymore. So much for your escape plan, fella. Well, yeah, I mean...
and they're providing high bandwidth global connectivity throughout the world. In fact, this connection is on a SpaceX connection. So I think this is a very good thing because it means that we can provide...
Can you give free internet to the world?
Low-cost, high-bandwidth internet to parts of the world that don't have it or it's very expensive. And I think the single biggest thing you can do to lift people out of poverty and help them is...
And then you turn it off when people are inconvenient politically for you and then they can't organize militarily? That's strange. Like in Ukraine? Seems pretty fucking unethical, man.
Giving them...
So it seems like you just want to have your fucking hand on the spigot.
An internet connection. Because once
he could end world hunger if he wanted, but he doesn't. Yeah, he could end homelessness. We could have healthcare. If only you could harvest it from him.
You have the internet connection, you can learn anything for free on the internet, and you can also sell your goods and services to the global market. Once you have knowledge by the internet and the ability to engage in commerce, this is going to greatly improve quality of life for people throughout the world, and it has. And I'd just like to thank anyone in the audience who may have been helpful in, with Starlink and getting it to approved in the country. And I think it's doing a lot of good in the countries that have approved it, which is, I think at this point, 130 countries are very happy with it. I don't currently anticipate SpaceX getting into the weapons business. That's not an aspiration. We're frequently asked to do weapons programs, but we have thus far declined.
Do you envisage SpaceX or indeed Starlink as a separate entity publicly listing in the near future or at all?
It's possible that Starlink may go public at some point in the future.
And what would be the time frame? What kind of time frame are you considering?
I'm in no rush. I'm in no rush to go public. The public is, I guess, a way to potentially make more money, but at the expense of a lot of public company overhead and inevitably a whole bunch of lawsuits, which are very annoying. So really, something needs to be done about the shareholder derivative lawsuits in the U.S. Because it allows...
It just sounds like he wants less regulation so that he can make sure that he has more money.
Plaintiffs' law firms who don't represent the shareholders to pretend that they represent the shareholders by getting a puppet plaintiff with a few shares to initiate a massive lawsuit against the company. And the irony being that...
He's so bitchy and whiny all the time. All right. I personally think that is a quality amount of Elon Musk, and mostly the first little bit of that was what I was looking for. He got roasted. That lady did a great job. I don't think he was happy with that interview at all. He got fucking destroyed. That's funny to me. We gotta get rid of these billionaires, man. They're no good. They're no good for us.